Hi everyone, welcome back to another quick tutorials video. This one is going to be all about creating assignments for your kids to do inside of Seesaw. I know that most teachers focus on Seesaw and they find that stuff that other teachers have created, but I know I have a couple of teachers who are interested in creating their own content but may be a little bit confused about how to go about doing it. So I'm going to share with you how to create content for Seesaw solely on your iPad. Don't need a computer at all. You can create it all from the iPad. I'm going to share you the example I just did with Ms. Landrum's class. We talked about labeling the parts of a flower, so I'm going to show you how I walk through that. So you're going to need two things, obviously, to create inside of Seesaw. You need the Seesaw app, and then you need some sort of creation app. Anything where you can draw a picture and then save it to your iPad is going to be key for this. But I'll show you what I'm talking about. So in Seesaw, that's what we'll look at first. We open up Seesaw, and you can see here is my class. I have student one student. I don't actually teach a class, so I don't have a whole lot of kids in here. But I want to be able to create an activity for them to do. So what I go to the green plus, it's a white plus on a green background. I click it and I can browse, or I can create or share an activity. So I want to create or share an activity. So I click the create and share activity, and then here's my library. Here's everything I've done. You can see I've already done a couple of different things with parts of a plant, but I want to create a new one. So I use the create new activity. It's on the left hand side. I click it, and now I can name this whatever I want to name it. For this case, we're doing plant labeling, so I would name it plant labeling. I'm going to here, I can type instructions to my students, but I'm going to hold off on that. I can also add voice instructions or multimedia instructions if my kids aren't reading well or anything like that. But to label things, the kids are going to need to they're going to be able to have to manipulate a template inside of Seesaw. So we click on the add template for student responses. We click on that, and then it gives us all these different ways we can add a template. We can add a photo that we take with our iPad. We can add something from our camera roll. That's the option we're going to do. We can add a video, a drawing that we create, a note, a link, or files if you've got your iPad linked to your Google Drive. But we're going to do from our camera roll, but first we need to create the picture that they're going to manipulate. So we go, and at this point you can choose whichever creation-based app you want on your iPad. For me, Keynote is my favorite because it has a ton of different shapes and objects I can use to manipulate, and I can always save it as a picture. Doodle Buddy, things like that. Anything where you can draw a picture or create a picture and then save it to your iPad as a photo is going to be key for this. But we're going to open Keynote. I'm going to open it, and you can see here I already created this inside Keynote, but from presentations you would hit the plus icon up at the top right hand corner, and then would open a new one. You'd choose a blank presentation and you get started, but I already chose plant. I've showed you guys how to use Keynote on a couple of different videos, but I'll just give you a refresher. You hit this plus icon in the top right hand corner anytime you want to add a new photo, video, shapes. Here you can do objects, animals, natures. I did to create this particular shape, I searched for a flower in that section, then I added a line that I changed the thickness and color of, and then I searched for leaf, and I found leaves, and I manipulated the direction that they went, and then I added the draw feature, which is on, again, that plus sign, and then you go to the miscellaneous section, drawing, and I drew the roots, and then I added more lines for the spots where the labeling will go. Once I've created my picture and I'm happy with it, I'm ready to save it as a photo. That way I can actually add it into Seesaw. So in order to do that, I just hit those three circles in a row, and I'm going to export, and I want to export as an image. I'm going to export it as a JPEG, which is fine. I'm going to hit export. And then it's going to ask me, how do I want to send it? Do I want to send it to my drive, to save as a PDF, assign it to a contact? I just want to save it to my images. So I'm going to hit save image. And then I'm good to go with this. I can just press the home button and get out of it. Now I go back to my Seesaw. I'm here. I want to add a template. In this case, we're going to add something from our camera roll. We hit camera roll. We go to our camera roll. You can see here it is. Here's the image I just created. Hit that green check mark, and now I've got this image. Now, you can have your kids do labels themselves, or you can add labels to this template that they can then move to do it that way. And with Ms. Landrum, we did it that way. So I did labels that I created. So we're labeling the flower. And then we are labeling a leaf. And then let me move that leaf over here and the flower over here. And then we are labeling a stem. And then we are labeling a roots. So now I can actually hit on these, and I want to change the style. I click on it. I want to go to like this one. It has a more flowery feel. Hit the green check mark. Again, I just click on it. I have the options to edit, style, whatever. I'm going to change the style. Hit that sample of the green box. Makes it more plant themed. Click on the roots. Again, style, sample, style, the green sample. Check it. So now, and then I want them to be started down here when the activity actually begins. So if I'm happy with my words, I'm happy with what they look like, I just hit that green check mark, and now it is, this is what the image is going to look like when they first open it up. I can add more drawings or recordings or labels or whatever I want to create, anything extra, but I don't for this situation. So I just hit that green check mark again, and now I have a photo attached. You want to type in instructions for your kids. I'm not going to actually type in instructions because nobody's going to use this one, but this is where you type in the instructions, like click on the plus icon to add it, click on the label button to move the things. You've seen what Seesaw instructions typically look like, and you just want to copy those to have your students be familiar with them. Once you're happy with all of this, you hit save. It saves it. Now you have the option to share. So you hit the green share button, and I can share it with my class. Or if you're someone who wants to share it with other teachers, you just hit other teachers, and it will show you. You can either share it via link or code or on social media. You have different options. But in this case, I would share it, and then I would share it to my class. I'd hit share, and then it would be assigned to them. And that's a pretty quick, pretty simple way to do activity creation in Seesaw solely on your iPad. Didn't need a computer at all. If you have any questions about this, comments, you want me to walk it through a little bit slower with you or in person, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always glad to help. Otherwise, have a great rest of whatever day it is when you watch this video. Thanks.